Hello world, and welcome back to the Code Cannon channel. My name is Luke, and for this week I have decided to take the geniuses behind Space Invaders and completely rip them off. Now, in order to accomplish this, I'm going to need to be working with stuff that I've never worked with before, like threads and buffers and abstract classes and states, key listeners and mouse listeners. But to be fair, I have worked with these in other programming languages. But Java is renowned for being complicated, so making this in 1 week is a ludicrous idea. But I have a lot of coffee, so it'll probably pan out. Okay, so the first thing I had to do was obviously create the project, and then create the launcher class, and then I created the display class, because, well, you want to get it up and running first, and then sort of get everything designed, and then you can start working on the actual game. So this is the part where I implement the threads, and that's where I say implements runnable. And so how a thread works is, basically threads are a way of the computer being able to do multiple tasks at once, so running 2 different sets of code at the exact same time. Now, here I'm setting up an init method, and a tick method, and a render method. An init method gets run only once, and is run before the tick and render methods, which get run multiple times. This is because the init method sets up everything in the program so that the tick and render methods can run the same code over and over again without running into problems. You can think about the program like a restaurant, where the init method is the people that set up all the tables and unlock the doors when it opens. The tick method is the waiter to figure out what needs to be cooked and tell the chef, aka the render method, which makes it happen. So the tick method does all the calculations and tells the render method whether to render an object and where. Okay, so now I'm working with buffers. A buffer is a space in the computer's memory where you can temporarily store data. Now the reason we need a buffer is because when your computer updates your screen, it actually does it pixel by pixel from left to right, top to bottom. When you use a buffer, it renders all of that before it hits the screen and it looks much smoother. The reason I'm using the canvas is because the canvas is what we use the graphics object to draw everything to. So everything using the graphics object that we've created and initialized gets drawn onto the virtual canvas, which is what gets printed onto the buffers. And now it's time to make the sprites, the fun part for all the artsy people. Now, I'm just doing pixel art because I'm trying to match the sort of aesthetic of the original Space Invaders. But as you can see, I'm not much of an artist myself. I hope you guys all like my alien. Now, this piece of code, I have to admit, actually stumped me for quite a while. So you can trump it up to some geniuses over at Stack Overflow and some very useful tutorials on YouTube. This basically left me staring at my screen for about 10 minutes trying to figure out what was going on. And there we go. We've got a game. Well, not a game. We've got a program with an alien that actually moves. Not far from a game, though. Now, here is where I start using abstract classes, which is what I was talking to you about at the beginning. An abstract class is a class with methods that don't actually have any code. Once an abstract class has been created, it can be extended by another class using the keyword extends, like over here. This means that this class must contain the declared methods from the abstract class. The classes that extend the abstract class can actually have methods of their own, which run as well as the methods inherited from the abstract class. As such, this is a great way to classify specific objects all under the exact same superclass, which is the class they extend. Abstract classes can get pretty complicated and have a lot of uses, so I'll link a video in the description which explains in more detail for those that want to learn more. Okay, so now it's basically just going to be me doing a lot of housekeeping around my code so that it'll actually be able to run in the future, and not much progress is going to be made, so I'm just going to let this fly by quickly. There, now we're finally back to making progress. So, Now we've got the player moving. Now all we need to do is get the enemy back on screen, because I may have f***ed that up a bit. But, yeah, and then we're nearing what we can actually call a game. And it's on screen, but it's going backwards. Fuck. There we go. Got the player moving, got the enemy moving. Now we just need more enemies, which I can just use a for loop to create, hopefully. And there. Laser is done. It's firing properly. Now I can get back to the alien. Ooh, looks like I got the spacing a little off. Okay. There we go, that's looking a bit better, but still not quite right. And I've just realized that the grid is 7x6 and not 6x6 because I was stupid and put a line of code outside the for loop. And it's back to GIMP to create new sprites, because in the original Space Invaders there were, I believe, 3 different kinds of aliens. The octopus one, the crab one, and the weird crayfish one. But yeah, I think so. So I'll try and mimic that. There we go. We finally have 3 sets of aliens and they move properly. We also have a laser that works and kills the aliens, but as you can see, it kind of just knocks down the whole row. I can fix that quite easily though. But I think that I'm gonna do the rest of this off screen and do the menu and a little tweaking, and I'll see you again when it's finished and we can actually play. Okay, now the game is finished. You can see there's an FPS counter on the bottom just to make sure that, you know, the game's running at the right frame rate. And I've got a main menu, and you can see that it's a knockoff. And yeah, so basically my goal for this is to actually get to wave 3, because I'm using a wave system instead of a point system like the original Space Invaders did, just because that would be extremely complicated if I only did this in a week. But my goal is to get to at least wave 3, but it's going to be quite difficult because I actually made the alien's AI better by shooting towards the player, not just randomly, so, well, let's hope I can actually do it. Okay. Now, taking out my barricades quite quickly already. And you can see my lives are in the bottom left corner, and the wave counter is in the top left. And I actually think, there. Okay, so it's quite difficult. Okay, there is actually a glitch in the game which I never fixed because it seems like a pretty cool exploit. Since the aliens move, if you manage to fire the laser at the right point so that it moves into an alien that's actually behind the front row, like that, see? And you hit the alien behind it, then it takes out the whole row. And there, one wave completed. Maybe I'll come back and work on this a bit later, create like an actual leaderboard that can save your progress and save your scores or something. But for now, I'm kind of glad it's done. It took a lot of blood, sweat and tears and, well, coffee. Maybe I made it a bit too difficult. I mean, I made this game and I can't beat it. There we go. Also, if they get too far to the bottom, or too close to the bottom, then you lose as well, because the invasion was successful. Okay, wave 2. Yeah, okay. This takes a surprising amount of concentration. Okay, well, it's very difficult. I don't think I'm going to upload this to itch.io because, well, it's Space Invaders, copyright issues. I don't know what itch.io's policies are on that, but I just would rather not take the risk. Maybe I will in the future, if people actually want to play it for themselves. I could just give my close friends a flash drive with it on, but yeah, that's the game. That was pretty fun, and I learned a hell of a lot in just this 1 week. For the next video I'm going to make an original game, which might take me quite a bit of time, so I'm not quite sure when the next upload will be.
Am I going to do it? Yes. When am I going to do it? Don't know.
That's it for this video. For any aspiring programmers out there, the very messy source code is in the description. If anyone can find mistakes in the code or just better ways of doing what I did, leave a comment and I'll put anyone that can make me look stupid.